This podcast is not a substitute for a relationship with a mental health professional. Hey, hey, hey. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast with your girl, Andrea Wise-Brown. Hey, family. How are you guys today? Like I'm listening. Hey, we good? Oh, we all right? Not doing so well. I'm charged up. Waiting to hear what you got to say. All right. Well, I'm here for all of that. Hey, y'all. So y'all know I am here working for you, here to give you the goods to help you increase what? Your quality of life. I want you to live a good life because abundance is yours. God created you to be abundant and to live abundantly. And not only is that in regards to finances, but it's just happiness. I want you to be happy. I want you to be happy and to find real joy in life, to expand on your quality of life. So today, what we are going to learn about, what y'all are going to learn about, and I'm going to teach you and give you some little tips and tricks. I'm going to give you some tricks for how to forgive yourself. I am here to teach you the skills of forgiving thyself, forgiving yourself. You know, a lot of times, wait, hold on, family. Before we even go any further, what I need you to do, because if you've been listening, but yet you haven't done this yet, then come on. I know your commitment says you're going to do this for me, for the family. I need you to click that little subscribe button. I need you to like it. I need you to to click I want you to subscribe, I want you to like it, and I want you to comment, and I want you to share it. Share this information, share the good news, because listen, let me tell you something. If this makes you happy, then this could make somebody else happy, and then that makes another person happy, and now we're creating a happy world, which is going to come back to you. Remember, for all energy that we put out into the universe, we will get that back. Newton's law. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. Every single action. So you give, and the same thing that you give, you are going to get. Okay? You give, and the same thing that you give, you are going to get. So pass it on. So yes, so I want you to hit that subscribe button, like it, comment, and then share, share, share. And in addition to that, if you're listening on the podcast, and you know we are on podcasts wherever you are, I would love for you to subscribe and to give it a 5, okay? And share it. Share, share, share. Because sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Okay. All right, y'all. So today, back to business, the business at hand. How do I forgive myself? How many of you out there are holding on to mistakes that you've made? You're just holding on to mistakes that you have made, that you wish you wouldn't have made. And yet and still, every time you think about the mistake, it just makes you sick. You just get sick, and you get sick of yourself. You get sick of yourself. Well, I am here to help you, because now I'm telling you, it's time to let that go. Please let it go, because guess what? It is not serving you. Anytime we make mistakes, living this journey called life, and we hold on to all of those negative feelings, the negative feelings surrounding the events, then what it does is it increases our stress level, it increases our level of anxiety, and it robs us of happiness and robs us of our quality of life. Did you hear what I said when I said what I said? Yes, it robs you. So today is the last day that you choose to hold on to that resentment for yourself. Today is the last day that you choose to hold on to the grudge that you holding on to in regards to yourself. And this is the thing. This is the thing. When you holding on, to grudges or anger or resentment to oneself, to ourselves, then a lot of times we do it in silence. So we don't tell anybody else because we don't want anybody else to pile on to it. You know what I'm saying? So we're not walking around telling everybody, I'm still mad at myself for X, Y, and Z. I'm still mad at myself for A, B, and C. We don't go broadcasting it because we feel so bad. And although we feel bad, we don't want to feel worse. So, you feel like if you express it or tell somebody, they're going to pile on and then make you feel even worse. However, if you hold on to it long enough, to the mistakes that you've made, and you hold on to that resentment and the grudges that you have towards yourself, then you will start acting out those feelings that you haven't resolved. Because if you keep feeling like because you made a mistake, you're a bad person, and you keep holding on to it and harboring it, hoarding it, then you will start to believe that you are a bad person because of the mistake. And then you will start to act out as a bad person consistently over and over again. Because this is what you've committed to believing, that because I made this mistake, I am this bad person. And so when you start acting out and you start repeating bad behavior, or let's just say maladaptive behavior, or let's just say dysfunctional behavior over and over again, i.e., that mistake that you made. I mean, hey, they may even grow into bigger mistakes. But we're going to cut all that off. We're going to cut it off. We're going to reel it back in. And we're going to go to forgiving ourselves. You will learn the skill of forgiving yourself today, letting that go. Because just because I made a bad choice doesn't mean I am a bad person. Repeat that. I don't care if you're driving in the car and you're on your way to work or to drop the kids off, on your way to your girlfriend's house or wherever, going to the supermarket, to the store, to the Walmart, to the Target, okay, Target. I need you to say that to yourself. Just because I made a bad choice does not mean that I am a bad person, because God created me to be amazing, to be, He created, I'm a walking miracle. We literally can create all things that we desire in this life. That's what I need y'all to get. Whatever you think, you will create. You hear me? Whatever you think, you will create. The truth is in the pudding. You can look back in your life now. I bet you any amount of money, if you were to look around in your current circumstances, whether it's the car you in or the shoes you have on your feet, and then think back to some times before, you already imagined the car that you in and those shoes that's on your feet. Can I get a hallelujah? If y'all don't give it to me, I'll give it to myself. Hallelujah, Dre. I'm just saying. So we create what you think, you create. You hear me? So if you think because you made a bad choice and a bad decision that you are a bad person, you will continue to make bad decisions, maladaptive decisions, dysfunctional decisions, and you will create a dysfunctional, maladaptive life. So stop it. We stopping it right here and right now, because your girl is here to tell you, you got the power to change all of that. You hear me? If there's a whole bunch of things in your life and you're thinking, oh my gosh, like all of this is happening to me. All of this bad thing is happening. And I can't get out of this. I got bad luck. Lies. You're creating it. Lies, because of how you're thinking. But guess what? Here we go. We're about to create a shift right here and right now. And if you need to replay this, then you replay it. And I want you to share it, because you are going to create a shift here today, right now. You hear me? You will learn to forgive yourself. Remember, repeat that. Just because I made a bad decision or a bad choice does not mean I am a bad person. You hear me? Okay. So here we go. I'm just going to give you five little steps, five little steps that you can use to forgive yourself. It's a skill, okay? Five steps to forgiving yourself so that you can live the life that you desire. You hear what I'm saying to you? All right, here we go. So, because I want you to be happy. So, number one, when you've made a mistake and you feel bad about it, right? You feel bad. Whew, and you just don't know how to forgive yourself. You feel bad. You keep thinking of it over and over and over again. And I told you what that does is it does not serve you and it makes you stressed. It raises your anxiety and can send you into depression because you done did it. And now you keep holding yourself hostage to it. Okay, so the first thing what you're going to do is you are going to sit down and you are going to list all of your positive qualities. So let's think past this mistake that you made. We're going to think past that. Let's go back. Go back in your history. What are some of your positive qualities, the things that you've done? So where did you help a family member? Where did you help a friend? Where did you show up for a friend, a family member, for a stranger? When did you loan somebody some money? When did you give somebody some advice? When did you sit with somebody and cry or hold them or bought somebody a meal? Like when did you help somebody clean up something or move something? Like, name some positive qualities. What about your parenting? Even if you made a mistake in parenting or a mistake in your relationship, I want you to go back in your history of a parent and I want you to think about some of the positive qualities that you have as a parent. Are you loving? Are you kind? Are you giving? Are you supportive? Do you empower your children? Come on now. Do you provide space for your children? You hear what I say? Are you sacrificing for your children? Some positive qualities. Same thing if you're in a relationship and you messed up. I want you to go back and remind yourself of the good qualities that you have, of those positive attributes. Were you loving? Were you kind? Were you giving? Were you forgiving? Did you sacrifice? Come on. Let's look into your vault. We're going to look into your vault and we're talking facts. We are speaking facts. So you're going to go back and you're going to write them down. Put them in your phone and your notes. Write them down. List your positive attributes, your positive qualities. Yeah. So once you list them, then, right? Because this is what you've listed. Nobody else has told you these things. This is what you have found, which for me, I'm going to take them as being true. But I always use my meter. Do I know this to be 100% true? Yes, I'm giving. Yes, I'm kind. Yes, I sacrifice when I didn't go and do this and I did this with. Yeah, okay. Go back and list your truths, your qualities, your attributes, your positive attributes. Now you have them down on a list because that tells me that you're not the bad mistake or the bad choice that you made. Okay, the maladaptive choice. Okay, you were all of these things that you listed, but yet you made a mistake. Okay, all right, that's step one. Here goes step two. I want you to feel your feelings. So don't you try to skip feeling your feelings. Now, I want you to list your positive attributes because that is who you are. That is who God created you to be. But now on step two, don't you avoid your feelings and just try to hang out over there with your positive attributes because when you do that, that's when you end up in denial. We don't want to live in denial. Did you hear what I said? You don't want to live in the dark, acting like it's light. Okay. You don't want to live in the mud, okay? Acting like you living in gold. All right. That's not what we want to do. We're not living in denial. The truth is the truth, and we're gonna stand in the truth. So I want you to feel your feelings. If I'm sad, feel them, acknowledge them. Your feelings won't kill you. Some people think that their feelings will kill them, but they won't. Feelings will pass. Don't be afraid to feel You feel them, you acknowledge. Yep, that's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling a little upset. I'm feeling hurt. I'm feeling some shame. Yeah, I'm feeling a little anger. I'm feeling disappointed. Feel your feelings, acknowledge them, call them out. That's what I'm feeling. And I want you to be careful because it's okay. Because this is the thing, it's going to be normal. First thing, our first reaction to making mistakes is going to be feeling guilt and feeling shame. So it's going to be normal. However, what you're not going to do is you're not going to hold on to either of them. So, holding on to shame will bind you and shrink you, okay? When you feel shame, shame makes you shrink down. It takes everything from you, and you start living like a victim when you live in shame and you do not rise to your full potential. So, we're not living in shame. So, once we acknowledge that I'm feeling shame for what I did, no, 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 no. We're going to push through the shame and I'm going to show you how. Because what shame does is it sends you into denial because the shame just feels so big. And so, therefore, the defense mechanism that your brain goes to is I'm going to deny this. I'm going to deny it because shame is so powerful. It feels so awful. So we're not feeling shame. We can feel shame and then we're going to let it go. Shame also makes us avoidant. So we avoid whatever the thing was. Like, okay, I did it. I'm being denial, act like it didn't happen. And then I'm just going to avoid it and really act like it didn't happen because that's what shame is bigger than me because I'm bad. Put you in a victimhood. No. And then a lot of times when you feel into denial and you're trying to avoid what it was that you did, the mistake that you made, then a lot of times because we aren't open to growth, because shame shrinks us, we act out in violence. No, hell to the no, no, no. No, we don't solve anything with violence. Not one thing with violence. So, shame is a nasty rabbit hole that we are not going down. Okay? Now, it's normal for that to be the first reaction is guilt and shame. But once I'm realizing that I'm feeling shame and I'm starting to shrink and I'm starting to talk negatively to myself and I'm trying to deny and avoid and I want to act out violently, I decide that I am going to let it go. I am going to stand in my truth and I will feel my feelings. I will win to shame. You win to shame by feeling your feelings and acknowledging your feelings and reminding yourself that you are not your mistakes. And then the guilt, when you feel the guilt, okay, it's normal for all of us to feel when you do something, that you wouldn't have liked to do, when you make a misstep, a lot of times you will feel guilty. But what you do with guilt is you are not gonna hold on to that either. What guilt is going to do, because you're saying, okay, I'm guilty. I did it. You're acknowledging, okay? You're acknowledging that I am guilty. What's the lesson? I'm guilty. So now let me learn the lesson. I'm guilty. So now I'm open to learning the skill or learning the lesson so that I am not guilty again. So I do not do this again. All right. So you feeling your feelings. You can process through the shame and then throw the shame, kick it to the curb, and then you can acknowledge your guilt and then kick that to the curb so that you can learn from the mistake so that you never have to repeat it. All right. So that's one. Number two. And then number three is take responsibility. So now you've acknowledged how you feel. You've already acknowledged that you're a gift from God and you have all these positive attributes, and all you did was make a mistake. You made a mistake, and it may have been a big mistake, but that's okay. You made a mistake and you felt guilt. You let shame go. So now you're going to take responsibility for whatever it was that you did. You're going to take, because you're a bad brother or a bad sister, okay? Bad meaning good. I think Run DMC said bad meaning bad, bad. Okay, bad meaning good. That's what I'm saying, y'all. Bad meaning good. Use a good mama jamma. Use a good brother. See, that sounds whack. So you know how you guys say, use a bad mama jamma. You be like, use a bad brother. That's what I meant, right? But bad meaning good. You a boss. So you a boss. You take responsibility for what it was that I did. You apologize. You apologize. Take responsibility. I did it. I'm not putting it on you. I'm not putting it on you. I'm not putting it on you. I did it and I will take responsibility. It was not my best moment, my favorite moment, but I'm going to take responsibility for what it was that I did. I'm not putting it off on nobody else to fix it. I'm here for the fix. So that's number three, because number four, that's what you're going to do. You're going to fix your part. how do I fix it? How do I fix this? So if this was somebody that, I don't know, maybe you made a mistake with a partner in your relationship, or with a friendship, or with your child, or with your parent, or at work, if that's who you made this mistake with, right? And as you are now at the part where you are taking responsibility, where you're not throwing it on anybody else, you're not gaslighting, you're not projecting your stuff onto them. What you are doing is you are taking responsibility and saying, I did it. I did it. And so now I want to fix my part. You ask, how do I fix my part? How do I fix it? Because I really messed this up and I want to fix it. Yeah. And in your head, you like, because I'm a child of God, honey. I am born to be amazing. And I got to fix it. I'm wired to fix it. Okay? I'm wired to fix it. I'm wired to live abundantly. So I know I'm feeling sad. I'm disappointed in myself. I acknowledge that, but I also acknowledge that this was my responsibility and I want to know how to fix it. Do I do a recommitment? Do I let you allow you to hold me accountable? Do I go purchase another whatever it was? Do I go take you out to eat and do whatever it is? Do I sit down and listen to everything that you have to say and let you cry on my shoulder? Do I recommit and promise to you that I will never do that again, and be intentional about my commitment to never doing it again? What's the fix? So you ask whoever it was what the fix is. If you walked out the supermarket and you took some detergent that was under the bottom of your cart, I'm gonna go there. I'm just gonna use this as an example. You understand what I'm saying? Because we all live in life, and I think we've all done it. And you got to, what, y'all know what? I'm not only gonna throw in the detergent, the Tide under there, but I'm gonna throw in the Bounty. It was under there too. I mean, I'm just saying. So now, in this moment, you done walked out. Now you get to the car, and you know that, remember Newton's law, for every action there's an opposite and equal reaction. So I ain't trying to steal from nobody. Okay, so then you get to the car. Y'all, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing this up there hypothetically. I ain't saying this happened to me. But then you get to the car and you got a choice, right? Because your bill was long, like papers long. It was super, like my book long. Like the bill was long. Okay, all right. It was already long. However, so now, but then you realize that Bounty and that Tide, they both was clear over. They was both about $13 a piece. Okay, that's about $26, a good meal. So they both under your cart. You can make a choice now. You can take responsibility. You ain't got to be blaming it on, well, the chick at the checkout should have took it from that was her job. No, wait, hold on. We ain't projecting. You know what I'm saying? We didn't remind her. We didn't go under there and say, did you get it? We didn't, Or let's just say we both made a mistake because we was busy and we start having conversation, because that's the kind of thing that happened to me. I be talking. So you can make a decision. Can I fix this? I can fix it. You know why? Because I want more. I want more in my account one day. I'm claiming billionaire status, and I am not going to let this $26 hold me back, because right on the day that I'm going to need some gas, or I'm going to need $26 for something, it's going to be the day that the universe is going to create the shift if I put this stuff in my car without paying for it. And I'm be out, and I'm be naked out here somewhere. So do you make the decision to take that back in there? Do you fix your part? I am going to encourage you to fix your part, to put the groceries that you done paid for in the car, and then to push that little buggy, even though everything in your body is telling you nobody knows but me, but you're going to push it back into that supermarket, and you're going to go right back through, and you're going to let her know, hey, you're going to look at a little name tag. I don't know, Shelly. I don't know, Thomas, him. I don't know, they, I don't know. Proper pronoun. I'm just call a name. I need to pay for this, it was in the bottom of my cart, and you pay for it. So you're going to fix it. You're going to fix your part. Okay? Go back, apologize, fix your part. Ask, how can I fix it? And be committed to fixing it. And then the last stage, that's number 5. So we done went through 4. Now we at 5. I want you to have some empathy for you. On an earlier podcast, when I taught you about narcissism and I taught you that whole thing about empathy, I won't go back there, but I told you that narcissists lack empathy. But here we go today. I'm bringing this here. I want you to have empathy for you. Have empathy for you. When you made whatever mistake it was, whether you was, I don't know, whatever the mistake was, if you did something to a friend, you did something to your romantic partner, you did something to your kids. I want you to try to express some empathy for yourself now. We're talking about yourself first. Express some empathy. That's when you go back and you take care of you. You take care of that you, that little you in you that kind of got you in this situation that you are at now. Because usually it's all about, the little brokenness in us, the younger part of us that's still up in there that pops up sometimes that kind of pushes us to make these mistakes. So you go back and you take care of her or him. And you say, you know what? I want to have some, I'm going to put myself in your, oh, I know why. I'll use the example of the detergent in the detergent and the Tide, okay? If I had made the mistake, I mean, not me, we was talking about somebody else. If the person made the mistake to put it in the car and to drive away, and then later, I don't know, they felt bad about it. I don't know. I'm just going to use that just because it's quick for me to come back to really quickly. And you felt bad or you felt guilty about it. To have empathy is to go back and say, you know what? That was wrong, but I could understand why you did what you did, sis. Oh, brother. You did it because it's hard. Inflation is a mother hubber. It's hard out here in these streets. Every time you work and you don't feel like you got enough, and you know what I'm saying? So you have some empathy, some understanding where you can put yourself in your own shoes, the little person in you shoes when you made that mistake, wherever you was. So let's just say if you violated a friendship, you can kind of go back to that little girl in you or that little boy in you and say, you know what, when you did that, I'm going to empathize with you because since you weren't emotionally mature enough to use your voice, or because you've always felt like, you've never had enough and you have this jealous part about you that came from maybe not having much during childhood or whatever. So this is why you act out in this way. So I can understand it. So empathy is putting yourself in somebody's shoes, but it doesn't mean that you agree with the behavior, but you can understand. You can understand maybe why they made the decision that they made. Doesn't mean you agree. Get me? Doesn't mean you agree. Doesn't mean that you would do it. But it's just putting yourself in someone else's shoes and trying to see the situation from their point of view. And at this point, when we're talking about making a mistake that we need to forgive ourselves for, we're talking about putting ourselves in the shoes of us in that moment when we made that silly decision. Yeah, because we weren't our best selves. And obviously, that came from some kind of trauma during childhood. And yep, I'm saying it and I'm claiming it because this is the work that I do and the research that I do as a psychotherapist. We all traumatize. And so sometimes we act out from our shadows or from our trauma. So that was some trauma behavior. You know what I'm saying? That's why you acted out. Doesn't mean I agree with it. Doesn't mean I would do it again. However, for me, if I'm forgiving myself, I will empathize with that, with me on that day when I made that decision. And not only in this step will I empathize with myself, but then I will also try and make a commitment to be cognizant about empathizing with others too. So maybe the other person in the situation, maybe empathizing with the other person in the situation. Okay, so that's the last step. Now, once you do that, you list in your positive attributes. That was number one. All of the things that God created you to be that you still are, although you made a mistake and you need to forgive yourself. You are going to, number two, you're going to feel your feelings. You'll feel it. If you feel shame, you're going to kick shame to the curb. If you feel guilt, okay, you can feel that guilt, let it go because it's just acknowledging that I was wrong, I did it. Then number three, you're going to take responsibility, not push it out on someone else, not gaslight someone else, not project it on someone else. I'm taking responsibility. It was me that did it Because I want to forgive myself. I want to stand tall. Then I'm going to fix my part. Whatever it was, I'm apologizing. I'm going back. I am going to fix it. I'm going to recommit to not doing it again, to having some accountability, make a new commitment. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to empathize. I'm going to have some empathy for myself and for the other person in it, or other persons in it, or just other people everyday living life. And that, my loves, my family, is how you forgive yourself. Because when you do those 5 things, you are at a point where it will be lifted off of you and you can literally let it go. So then that means and let me tell y'all something, self-work is something that you have to be committed to. This is a daily occurrence, but it gets easier and easier, and it gets lighter and lighter. Because if you don't forgive yourself, this is the thing. If you don't forgive yourself, then it will resent in you feelings of resentment for yourself, resentment, anger, and hostility. And that's how you walking around like a victim, projecting that onto everybody else. So please, and let me tell you, that's not a good way to live. That strips you of your happiness and your quality of life. So please practice self forgiveness. Forgive yourself. God created you to live an amazing life, to be abundant and prosperous. Forgive yourself. You must see yourself as a king or a queen in order to enjoy life. Okay? All right, family. So now you have the skill. You need to work it. You hear what I say? I can give it to you now, but you got to work it to make it work, my loves. You have to work it to make it work. All right. So now we have just ended another episode of the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast with your girl, Andrea Wise-Brown. I love you so much, and I will see you on the next episode next week. Yup, next week. I love you. Please forgive yourselves. See you next time.